everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm gonna be doing a full set of acrylic nails. So of course the first thing that I'm doing is just going in and very gently pushing back those cuticles to expose the new growth and help with reducing lifting. After that, I'm going in with my 180 sanding band to remove the shine from the natural nail. So I'm going around the cuticle area from the right side all the way over to the left side and following the rest of the nail. And then I also use my sanding band to just kind of follow the free edge. And then also on her nails, what you see on her tip is just a base coat that she had the last time she came. We just did a manicure, so she still had that gel top coat, and so I just went ahead and followed that off as I was prepping the nail. So again, just make sure that whenever you're prepping the nail, you push back the cuticles, you go in with a 180 sanding band to remove the shine from the natural nail. And when you're filing the nail, you want to make sure that you're not filing too rough, because the objective is literally just to remove the shine. So as soon as you see that the nail is no longer shiny, you're good to go. Like, you don't have to keep filing the nail, because if not, you are going to file the nail down and it's going to thin out their natural nail plate. So after we finish doing this on all of the nails, of course we're going to go ahead and just dust them off, and then we're going to go in and apply the nail tips. Alrighty, so whenever you're applying the nail tips, you want to make sure that they fit exactly from sidewall to sidewall. So if one's too big and the other one's too small, always go with the one that's a little bit bigger. Just file it down on the sides if you need to, and it's gonna fit exactly, like I said, from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want it to be too big or too small, because then you're gonna get lifting or breakage. And then also, a lot of the supplies that I'm using in this video are available on my website, which is www.getnail32. These right here are my 500-piece natural nail tips. I absolutely love them. Definitely perfect for, you know, doing any set. They are like a medium length, but I think, well, actually they are pretty long. You know, they're like the average size. I know that, you know, like extendo nails and super long nails are really in style right now, but you know, just realistically, a lot more people get shorter nails than they do long nails. So these would be perfect, because I have been seeing where people use like their 3XL nail tips and then end up cutting them down. So you definitely don't want to waste those long nails and just get you a set of shorter nail tips. But anyways, now I'm just going in with my straight edge nail clipper. This is also available on my website. And I'm just trimming down the sides of the nails to kind of make them into a coffin shape. That way, whenever I start filing, I won't have to do too much filing. So whenever I start to file, I file the nails exactly at a 90-degree angle, filing both of the sides and the free edge, like I said, at exactly a 90-degree angle. If you hold it at, you know, a slightly different angle, you will round off the corners and it's not going to give you that perfect coffin shape that you want. And then once you get a good shape, you just go in there and just blend the nail tip right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets. You can do this either with the hand file, or you can even go in with your sanding band and do that, whatever works best for you. But again, as you can see, I'm just holding the file really straight, and make sure that as you're doing this, you're really focusing on, you know, the way that you're holding the file, because y'all, if you, like, I'm talking about if you hold it even just slightly at a different angle, like, you're gonna round off those corners. And I don't know about y'all, but for me, the shape is the most important thing. Like, it literally will make or break your set of nails. So definitely make sure that you spend a little bit more time on your shaping, and that you really pay attention to what you're doing. Alrighty y'all, so this is what the nails look like after I shaped them up. So now I just went ahead and dust them off, and then I'm going in with the Jcbeautyconcepts primer and just applying that on the natural nail only. And then after that, we're gonna go in with the Jcbeautyconcepts Cover Blush Acrylic, which is a very pretty nude acrylic. I use this one a lot. It goes on really well, so definitely recommend it if you're just looking for like a nude to just use, you know, all the time, because literally I use it all the time and I think y'all know that. But of course, just going in and placing my first bead right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meet, and then very gently patting it down and brushing it all the way down towards the tip, and just going in and making sure that everything is nice and smooth, and then wiping the sides off as well as I go. That way at the end I don't have to do so much falling, because I'm making sure that I'm able to keep my shape. So after that, I place another bead right below that first one, same thing, patting it down and then very gently brushing it down towards the tip. And remember that as you're brushing down, you're literally just doing like a feathering motion, because if you brush too hard, you're going to be brushing that product off the nail, and you definitely don't want that, because then you're going to have to keep adding more products. So just making sure that it's nice and smooth. Also, as I'm applying the acrylic, I'm steady looking at my nail from, you know, the side, just to make sure that it's nice and even. And then if I need to go in and add some more, then of course I do so as well. So the next bead is going to go right behind that first bead, so closer to the cuticle area. So when I'm placing this one, I want to make sure that I get it as close as I can to the cuticle, but not to where it's actually touching the skin. And then once it's there, I just very gently pat it down and then start brushing towards the tip. And then also, I forgot to mention, but the brush that I'm using is my number 10 oval Kolinsky brush by I think I already said this, by Alpha Brush. But now this video, it is pre-recorded, so I recorded this, y'all, like a week ago. I'm just now doing a voiceover, but now I've been using my number 12 brush that is available on my website. It has my name on it. It's pink and rose gold, definitely really pretty, and I just been loving it a lot. So be sure to go check it out. Again, a lot of the products that I'm using in this video are available on my website, so y'all make sure y'all go and show some support. Even if you can't purchase anything at the moment, just, you know, you sharing my post on Instagram about my website is greatly appreciated. But anyways, now I went ahead and placed another bead closer to the cuticle area, and this is what's going to build my apex. So I placed it as close as I can to the cuticle area and then brushing it down. That one, we don't necessarily have to brush it all the way down towards the tip. Of course, we want to make sure that it's all well blended in, but that was just to create our apex. Now I'm just going in and adding more wherever it's needed. So the way to know if you need some more is by simply just looking at the nail from the sides, and if you feel like, okay, the nail is too flat, you still need to work on your apex, then of course you go in and add a little bit more. But if you have a nice apex, you know, then of course you're more than welcome to just move on to the next nail. But super important that you're really paying attention to what you're doing. So I pretty much keep the same technique all of the time when I'm doing acrylic nails. I try to do the 4-bar method each time. Of course, if there's times where, you know, like my first bead was, you know, good size, then, you know, and like by the third bead I feel like, okay, I have a nice apex, a nice thickness at the tip, then there's no need to go in and add some more, you know, just because I'm doing a 4-bar method. You know, I don't have to keep adding more if it already looks good, because then my nail is going to be really big and lumpy and just really thick, and we definitely don't want that. So, you know, whatever method works for you is completely fine, whether that's the 1-bar method, 2-bar method, 3, 4, you know, whatever works for you is completely fine. There's different ways of doing, you know, your acrylic application, but what's most important is just making sure that you always have a nice apex and good thickness at the tip. That way your nails do not break off, because y'all, like, I've seen a lot of flat nails in my life, and a lot of the time the client's nail end up breaking right in the middle of the nail plate, and it's definitely not a good thing, y'all. You definitely don't want your client's fingernail breaking right in the middle. Like, that's super painful. So that's why you want to make sure that you have, you know, a nice structure, a good foundation. And especially, you know, first starting out as a beginner, you want to just focus mostly on your, you know, like I said, your foundation, and then start, you know, messing with glitters and ombres and bling and, you know, stickers, you know, whatever the case may be. Just make sure that your nails are staying on and not breaking off before you move on to all of that, because then all your pretty stickers and all your pretty rhinestones and all that extra stuff is gonna go to waste if your nails are not staying on. So that's just, you know, a little tip, which I feel like is self-explanatory or common sense, but you just never know. So definitely something to keep in mind. But I'm basically, like I said, gonna keep doing this on all of the nails. As you guys can see, I'm lifting the nail so I can look at it from the side to know exactly where I need to add more product at. And then again, it's super important that as you're working, you're being super gentle. That way the acrylic is going on nice and smooth, and then you're not brushing it off the nail. Okay, so this is a nice little view right there. So as you guys seen, the nail was nice and smooth. We had a nice apex and then we had a nice thickness at the tip. So I'm going to basically do the same thing on this one. So placing my first bead right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets, patting it down and then very gently brushing it down towards the tip. And then of course, if we get any product on the skin, make sure that you wipe it off immediately. That way it doesn't dry up, because then it's going to be hard for you to file it off and most likely your client will get lifting. So I place that second bead right below that first one. Same thing, being very gentle, brushing the sides, and that's just so whenever we're done, the acrylic doesn't take away from your shape and then you won't have to do so much filing at the end. So placing my third bead closer to the cuticle area, brushing it down or patting it down and then brushing it down, cleaning around the cuticle area, making sure everything is super smooth. Alrighty, y'all, so this is what the nails look like after the acrylic application. So literally flawless. They're nice and smooth, no bumps and lumps. We have a nice apex and thickness at the tip. So next we're gonna go in and just reshape the nails. We're gonna file both sides and the free edge at exactly a 90-degree angle, just like we did at the beginning, except for this time I'm just making sure that we have a nice and crisp shape, so I'm not having to do as much filing. We're just really redefining that shape that we already had. Y'all, look how good that shape looks. Yes. So next I'm gonna go in with my extra fine drill bit and filing around the cuticle area, going from the right side all the way over to the left side, going back and forth, getting as close as you can to the cuticle area, and then of course filing the rest of the nail to make sure everything is nice and even. And then also, as you're doing this, you want to make sure that you have really good stability. So as you guys can see, as I'm filing the nail, I'm holding her pinky with my left hand, and then with my right hand, of course, I'm holding the drill. But then also, if you guys can see, my pinky is on the side of her finger, and then that way I just really have some good stability, and I'm able to fully control my e-file at all times. So I'm able to make it go exactly where I need it to go. And then also during this step, I am using my e-file at 10,000 RPMs, but of course just adjust the speed to whatever speed you feel comfortable using it at. So also during this step, my main focus is just making sure that I file around that cuticle area really good, because of course my entire nail is already really nice and smooth. So I just want to make sure that I seal that cuticle area, that way we don't get any lifting at all. So as you can see, I just basically go from the right side all the way over to the left side. And for that part, like during this part, I'm using the very tip of my drill bit. This is the tapered extra fine drill bit. I do have these available on my website as well. And they're just super easy to use. Of course, if your nails are a little bit more thick and bumpy and lumpy, I would recommend using a drill bit that's maybe a little bit more coarse, or maybe just a fine drill bit. That way you're able to file off a little bit more of the bulk if you need to. But if your nails are pretty nice and smooth like mine, then an extra fine drill bit should be fine as well. But again, during this step, I'm using my e-file at 10,000 RPMs. Not too fast, not too slow. It's just a perfect speed for me. Alrighty, so after we finish doing the filing with the e-file, I'm going to go in with my buffer, and I'm just going to basically buff all of the nails to get rid of any of the scratches left on the nails from the hand file or the e-file. So you want to make sure that you buff those nails really good, because we don't want to see any scratch through our polish. Alrighty, so after I finish buffing, I'm gonna go in one more time and just shape up the very free edge of the nail. You don't have to do this, but this is just my way of just keeping my shape super crisp. I just started doing this not too long ago, and then I also know that some people or a lot of people actually are doing this after they polish the nails to get that shape really crisp. But this is how the nails look like after the acrylic application. Next, of course, I would just dust them off, wipe them off with an alcohol wipe, and then we'll be ready for polish. But I just wanted to strictly do this video on the acrylic application to show you step by step how I lay my acrylic. So hopefully you guys enjoyed.
As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at KANON32, and I will see you guys next time.